guys. Welcome to September's edition of Authentic Ambitions Deep Dive. This is where Ty and I take a look back at last month's spotlight feature, introduce you to this month's spotlight feature, and then dive into a topic that gets to the heart of the journey behind the brands. So, per usual, let's do a little clean house. Before we jump in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so that you can stay connected with us because here we share it all, the highs, the lows, and everything in between when it comes to business. So to start off, I'm Starah Dixon, founder of Mitsooz, your destination for statement decor that blends luxury with everyday living. We offer curated, artisan crafted pieces for those who don't just follow trends, they set them. Pieces that make your home feel powerful, personal, and anything but ordinary. And now on to you, Ty.
Hi everyone, my name is Tysheda. I am known as the Signature Global Experiences Architect, where I help founders, entrepreneurs create amazing elevator retreats as well as travel worldwide so you can really reconnect, rediscover, and come back a more rejuvenated and better version of yourself. So, for those who missed it, last month was definitely a rock star month. We had such an amazing founder, Lori. She really took us through all the highs, the lows, the all in the in-betweens. And the most amazing part is it really helped you, whether you're starting out, whether you're deep in your
Yeah.
company, whether through all the shifts that this world has to offer, it really helps you to understand that you the end goal that you see a lot of times that people have in the multiple business that they have and everything that they have like achieved, that you don't really always know the grind, the lows, how much something can happen to get you to where you are. And it really just touched home because she really helps people and she really helps them to listen, to find their voice, to be able to speak about it, to know that your story is more than just yours. It's something that whether it hits one person or it hits 100 people, that somebody out there really needs to know it. And she really helps people to kind of dive in and also so that people know that you're not alone, that no matter how crazy life is, no matter how much you feel like you're the only one going through it, that there's always someone else that is going through it. And that along if you don't stop yourself, you can really achieve great things. Star, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, no, you hit everything on the head, which I really enjoyed the conversation because of the vulnerability that she did show us. Where, as you were saying, like it's one thing where you see the person where they are, like, and the spotlight is on them, but like there really is a lot of work and a lot of times that you have to worry, like, and, negotiate with your partner or loved ones of any kind about like, what are my next steps? So I really enjoyed her conversation.
Yeah, and it was just nice because the work that she does and how she's passionate. Like a lot of people love what they do and a lot of people do things for the money, but she's really passionate about making sure that she is actually listening to people and
Yeah.
telling them like you are so much more than what you're giving yourself credit for, that you can do so much more than what you're giving yourself credit for. And sometimes that fear that people go through where they're like, okay, well, I get a little bit scared, so I'm not going to do that. That's something that if you take that next step, so many more doors open. You just kind of need someone to help you navigate and know exactly what to do. And she's definitely your go-to for all of it.
And that, and just again, going back to like getting back to the grassroots of things. And I feel like her story also showed that you can literally create the world that you want to in any environment. And you should be taking a little bit, like from everywhere that you go or like the people that you're connected to. So, yeah,
Yes.
that was a great convo.
Exactly. And I like what you said there too, because the actually being able to, the world changes, you change, your life changes, but knowing how to navigate and what
Yeah.
tweaks you need to make is so important. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what she said. And it's if you haven't checked out our episode, definitely check out the page. We'll have the link in the description. But a lot of people who I literally who literally people who watched her episode and was like, I couldn't stop. Like I couldn't like
Hmm.
I couldn't like turn away. Like I couldn't stop looking at it. Like I couldn't really like I was literally so empowered by it that I wanted to be there. I paused it when they had to walk away. Like that's how her story was. Like her
Yeah.
story hit it, and also her passion leading after that in terms of what she wants other people to experience. It really, you can hear it not only while she's talking, but in her heart as well.
Definitely want to watch. And also, which actually brings me also to this month's Authentic Ambitions. We're honored to feature Katia Conti, president and co-founder of the Daniela Conti Foundation. Katia's mission is to turn pain into purpose, raising awareness, advancing research, and supporting families impacted by pediatric cancer. After losing her daughter Daniela to a rare childhood illness, Katia transformed her grief into action. Through the foundation, she has helped raise over $500,000 to fund research and provide direct support to families walking through unimaginable challenges, which we really get into on this one. So her story is one of resilience, advocacy, and hope, and a reminder that even in loss, legacies can shine and become beacons of light. So her spotlight is on Sunday, September 14 at 4 p.m. EST. So be sure to set your notifications.
And that brings us into this month's Founders Edition deep dive, which is Legacy in Motion, building impact that lasts. Because it's not all about the financial game, it's not all about the monetary, it's really making an impact, creating that legacy for not only this generations, for the future generations to come, and the purpose behind it. Because if everything that we're going into with the world today, with the world before and the world to come, if anything has taught us anything, is that you want to do something that's worthwhile. You want to do something that's having a purpose, something that truly is what you believe in, and something that you can pass down so not only other people can benefit from it, but you're also supporting those as well. So, with that being said, let's dive right on in. Star, what are your thoughts?
I would say that like one of the things that I really enjoyed about like doing a lot of the interviews with our fellow founders is just really hearing and honing in on the importance of the why behind the brand, because for a lot of us it really is a story that you want to make sure that like people know about like why you're building it out, what you're looking to like leave after and things like that. Like for example, with me, when it comes to Mitsooz, I really wanted to leave a legacy where it's really focusing on luxury and attainable luxury, but like in the artisanal spaces and just like being able to like uplift, especially like people of color and people from diverse backgrounds, cultures, religions, and things like that. Like that would be like one of the essential pieces for me. And so one of the reasons why I feel that way is because of the fact that I noticed that a lot of the time, especially like you already know, like the journey into the funding worlds, like that is not usually given or received well to people who are of minority backgrounds. And so it's already like you have like a notch against you, right? And so like then you see these businesses who are usually trying to just build themselves out, use whatever like money that they have to build out their marketing or build out their products, build out their services. And it's kind of like, who is going to advocate for me? So like that's one of the reasons why I want to just be like a home for that. I just want to be able to like have as many businesses I can like be supported by communities who also resonate with a lot of the, you know, like the craftsmanship and the qualities that they have to offer. I want to be able to give people the ability to tell their story and share it with their own audiences. I want to be able to help businesses not close down like quickly, especially in years like this one where we're dealing with like things of like tariffs and just like figuring out how to restructure your business and also dealing with like, you know, like different businesses shutting down. And I told you before about one where it was kind of like an art piece that I wanted to purchase, found out that the atelier was closed, and I was like, dang it. So yeah, like I would say that that would be, for example, my legacy that I would like to leave, which is just like shining light on artisan work and especially in the luxury space and especially uplifting voices. But what about you, and what are your thoughts?
No, I mean, I definitely agree with it because, like, there are a lot of really good brands out there and a lot of good businesses that don't get the light that they really should be.
Yeah.
And their why is passion, but their the quality and what they
Mhm.
put into it is like
Mhm.
unspeakable. And some
Mhm.
of these people barely get heard, or if they get heard, they're nowhere near the amount that you can get the same product that's not even close to the same quality. So I
Yeah.
just feel like,
Yeah.
and the same thing, like you said, there's a lot of different businesses, especially within the past this year and some of the ones leading up to it, where it's like, oh my goodness, like I really want to like be able to invest and I want to have this product and I want to have this quality and things of that manner. And then come to find out they're closed or they're going out of business or they're just something where you're just like, wow, they're like, they had
Mhm.
something and you know they have something good because
Yes.
you've tried so many different products and you've talked to other people and the reviews are there. The problem is they just didn't either have the marketing budget or you didn't have this
Mhm.
outrageous following to be able to get the marketing out there and get the brand out
Mhm.
there as much as that once they had the people and they had it, but it only goes so far with,
Yeah.
referrals and word of mouth and things of that manner. So it really makes a difference. And I feel like the legacy itself, it's important for a few reasons. Like, especially with me, especially as a founder and a brand, the people who we work with that are whether they're founders or CEOs, and really wanting to make an impact and narrow down to what they're doing and why they're doing it,
Mhm.
but also being able to create an environment that's outside of technology and outside of AI
Yeah.
and be able to, whether you're going to conferences, meeting people, going to events, going on retreats, taking yourself outside of this virtual world that we sometimes get very hooked on and wanting to understand that that human connection is very important. That human interaction is important, and we can't lose that because having decade and year after year and getting so immersed, it's great for the purpose that we use it for, whether it's for business or for processing or for operating systems. They're great for that, but to really not lose the human aspect of ourselves, and
Mhm.
that comes into socializing, communicating, all
Mhm.
those important things. And they go so far, you just kind of have to understand that you need them. They're not just something as an optional thing, or,
Mhm.
I'll go back to my social media or go back to this, wanting to make sure. And that's the true legacy that I like having that person to person communication, having that interaction, being able to also see the world because there's a lot of things. Sometimes I think a lot of us get so focus on where we are, like just our bubble of like,
Mhm.
whether it's the same street or the same state or whatever that shall look like for you. But the world is very big. And sometimes people only know from what they see on TV, and that's either the
Mhm.
news or TV shows or movies. And you don't really know. You can't see something on TV or see something on a movie and think you know that place. So
Mhm.
until you actually go there, you experience it, experience their culture, experience the people that live there. And I feel like that also makes you a little bit more humble because you understand that, wow, like these people live here and they're happy. They're,
Yep.
they're thoughtful. They're wanting to open up. They're not just, what you've always seen day in and day out. So I feel like those are all important things that just if half of the people experienced it and can open their mind a little bit, they're not so focused on like, oh, I'm putting this people in this bracket, I'm putting them in
Mhm.
this circle. I'm actually experiencing it for myself versus just come creating your own stereotype and saying, oh no, I don't want, any part of that or things of that manner.
Oh, as a Haitian, I fully agree because I still remember like me coming here and seeing how people viewed my country. I was like, the audacity, like this is crazy, like because and I guess like even like for example coming as an immigrant too, like it is that thing where you're seeing just how much like ideas can get shaped, especially when you're looking through the media versus actually speaking to someone from like that background or from that culture and like really getting the information where it's like okay, yes, like there are parts that are X, Y, and Z, however that does not make up the whole. And I feel that like one of the things that you touched on too is just the importance of like building out the community, you know, and that really is whether that is through travel or through shared experiences or through shared stories, where it's like just making your brand something that like speaks before you do, and where people will know like what you're about, like what you have to offer before even like having to even see you in some ways. Because I've even seen some people online where you see that their communities are so kind and so like about like sharing information and evolving and stuff like that. And it's just like, that would be the perfect world. So like, why not do that elsewhere too? So
Exactly, yeah. And also too, I want to say it's also because like I said, like I've been to places and people have a stereotype just like with other countries, with other
mhm.
people. And they, they'll be like, "Oh my goodness, like, you're so different. Like I didn't know you would be like this." And I'm like, what do you
Right.
mean? Like I was like, have
Yeah.
you ever I'm like, and then obviously like some people haven't been, but I'm like, "Oh, have you ever been to America before?" And they haven't, but it's just based off of what they see on TV or the news
Yeah.
and things of that matter. And they're like, "Oh my God." And then I'll start talking, and that's also how I started working with other people, also in other countries, because they're like, "Well,
Mhm.
what do you do?" And they're like, "Oh my God!" Like, and it's just because of the fact of it's just one of those things where you can't judge everything before you know it,
Mhm.
and you also don't want to pass that down to other generations
Mhm.
because that legacy, in every time it gets passed down, if it's not the right type of message or the right type of messaging, it can definitely, not lead in the best direction.
Yes.
So it's very important for that. But also, I feel like in this day and age, I feel like mental health, wellness, all those things are something that's so important. And wanting to create a space, and that's creating either a community, creating within your family, creating within your business and your team. Because if you can have a team that knows that, okay, you care not only about your clients, you
Mhm.
can care not only about the work you do, but you also care about your team, they're going to make sure that they want to put that out to whoever else you guys are working with, whether that's other clients,
Yeah.
whether that's other brand deals, whether that's your processing or operating or whatever they do, because they want to make sure that they're doing the work just as proudly as you're doing it because you care about them. That's
Oh,
so important. Like I have been through so many other different positions. I have seen other people and the stories that they told me about how they were treated, and just in terms of something
mhm.
small, like it's like a thank you, like, you wanting them to do something and just, almost kind of like, what's the word? Kind of like telling them to do it versus, can you do this? And actually thanking them for doing it versus just expecting, like,
Heavy.
I just want you to do this. It
Yeah.
goes a long way, but all of these are how not only it can make you as a founder, even as a business owner, a CEO, a supervisor, whatever, it can make not only you a better person, but also it can make sure your team will follow. Your team will follow you
Mhm.
wherever you want to go because they know you appreciate them and they know that you care about them. And
Mhm.
all of that is something that I feel like a lot of people, especially sometimes the longer they're in their jobs, the longer that they're just, been on earth and they kind of like maybe forgot some of the small things they lose sight of. And all of that is so important because it's, yes, the idea and the goal is you want to make more money, you want to make things, but you got to understand that sometimes having a purpose and a reason why people are doing things and giving yourself that as well is more than just the money behind it. It's about what am I trying to do? What difference am I
Yeah.
trying to achieve? What do I want other people to take away from? Like, you have to also sometimes you have to just come with your own purpose, your own light of what you want to do. And then whoever wants to follow you, whoever they would naturally be attracted to that. That's just what it is. Like, you don't always have to go seeking it. It will naturally be there if you're being authentic and if you're being genuine, because
Mhm.
sometimes you can go the other way. And if you're not, people are going to feel that your vibe is just not it, or they're feeling like this person doesn't sound like they're telling me the truth. It goes a long way. And that's so important. Like so many people that I've talked to, it's one of those things where they're just like, they're so busy with, okay, I have to do this. I'm going to start directing tasks out. I'm doing this X, Y, and Z. And then over time, you almost lose sight of like, okay, well, why did you, like, what was your
Yeah.
intention on when you originally created this? Because you get drained, you get tired, and you lose sight real easily. And sometimes, as one of our other videos that we did, sometimes that's also when you have to question if you may have to pivot or you may have to change something because you want to make sure that you're leaving not only a legacy behind, but something that you're proud of, something that you want to do, and not just because you think society wants you to do it or because you're good at it. It's just something that you need to do because you're going to be drained, you're going to be stressed, and your life is not going to be as fulfilled as you really want it to be.
Yeah, and just encompassing everything pretty much. Like I very much so agree where it's one of those things where we talked about the importance of being able to hear out your own voice before you get the opinions of others. And yes, like which would then go into finding your audience because we're not everyone's audience, you know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of like as much as like you feel like you're bomb, which, you know, you slash we are like you just being everybody, but, and especially you too, but like, but we are, it is one of those things where it's like, no, there are certain people who would gravitate more towards it. And I love that you also brought up the whole part of it being like company culture, like setting up the standard from the beginning of like who we are, like what we're about, like what we want to present ourselves out to the world. Because it really is easy to just like have the idea, like, and just like work very hard towards like building out your legacy. But just as much as, you know, you could build it out is just having of like is how quickly you can also like have it go down, especially if you have one bad apple that just like now screws the whole like way everybody else can view you. So it's something that is important, and it's also important, one of the reasons why it's important to be very like cognitive and like intentional about like the people that you invite into your space because they're going to represent you. It's very important to like put in a lot, like as much work as you can, and then knowing when to ask for assistance. Because by the way, by asking for assistance, now you're helping your legacy grow because now somebody else hears, oh, these are the thoughts that were going inside of this person's mind. And now let's like build upon it so that the vision that they're trying to get basically gets reached. So yeah, like I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that people really do have to think about, like, and really like lay it out so that you know, like, where are we going? Like, not just like, let me build out the business because, yeah, as you said, bottom line is you do want to make money. Other than that, it would be just a hobby. But like it's also like the why. Like, and the why is the thing that's going to push you through on the days that you want to cuss everybody out, or on the days that you don't want to work, you're not feeling motivated, or you just need to take a rest. And especially on the days that you do take a rest, it helps you come back too. So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I definitely I really love that. And it's funny because one of the things that I have talked to people and it's almost like something it's like small, but you also have to understand like small wins are wins. Like you have to almost I feel like a lot of times with us you don't give yourself enough grace beside it. So a lot of times when you're like, okay, I want to make an impact, but it seems so small right now. Like it seems like, so you have to understand like small wins create bigger outcomes and it
Mm-hmm.
creates a bigger impact over time. You just have to get there and you have to do what you're passionate about, but also what you feel inside. Like try not to go, especially in the world of technology, AI, social media. A lot of time people tend to like, okay, what is going to be like happy medium ground that everybody will want. No.
Mm-hmm.
You want something that is that something that you want, and those are the people who's going to be attracted to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where you almost kind of have to ask yourself, I should say, like, what am I doing today that my future self and community will thank me for
Yeah.
later?
Yeah.
Like that right there is so powerful
Yeah.
because that's like the main thing of being like I really need to think about this because sometimes you have to journal it and write it down and
Yep.
then you reflect on it and you're like, I really never sat down and thought about this, but this really could change the whole game of not only you, but also your business.
And listen, I am not the most religious. Let's just start off there before anybody starts throwing a Bible. But I will say, like, one of my favorite scriptures, and I wrote it down, is like John 13:7, where it says, you do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand. And I feel like that is so also true about just like anything you create. And just as you were saying, like starting out small, you may not see the path, and chances are you're 99% of the time you're going to have to pivot at some point, like so that you could refine, you know? So it is one of those things where it's like you may not have like the full vision, but like just work at it. Like work at it, you will get there. Ask for the assistance where you can. And you know what? With that being said, if today's conversation sparked ideas or gave you a new perspective, like I really encourage you to drop some information and drop some gems of your own inside of the comment box. And also, don't forget to hit a like, subscribe, or tap the bell to never miss a lot of these like real talks. We want to delve into it a lot more, but we also want to know what you're also open to hearing and how long you want to hear us. So, as I said, while you're here, drop a comment with the topics or founders you'd love to see on the next Authentic Ambitions. And until next time, keep building, keep growing, and stay inspired. Bye.
Bye.